Hello everyone, today we're going to be making pecan pie. A few tweaks will make this classic pecan pie recipe even better. Flaky crust, check. Sweet but not sickly sweet, check. A pie that you can probably finish by yourself, and still one more, check and check. Let's get started. First, we're going to make the crust. As you'll see, it doesn't have to be perfect to be delicious. First, measure out 95 grams of cake flour, 5 grams of powdered sugar, and 2 grams of salt. Then measure out 70 grams of cold butter. And finally, in another bowl, 25 grams of ice water and 5 grams of apple vinegar. This will help the crust be more tender and flaky, but not sour. Don't worry. Once ready, dump your flour onto your counter and then the butter. Use a bench scraper or knife to cut the butter into pea-sized pieces. Try to work fast to keep the butter as cold as possible. Once small enough, add the water and mix until it forms a shaggy ball. Then wrap with plastic wrap and refrigerate until we are ready to use. For the filling, first mix 3 eggs. Then in a different bowl, measure out 140 grams of corn syrup, 60 grams of brown sugar, and 1 gram of salt. We're going to mix this over hot water to help the sugar dissolve before we add everything else. Once melted, add 75 grams of melted butter, mix it in. Add the 3 eggs and 1 gram of vanilla. Then sift in 10 grams of cake flour and mix well. Finally, we're going to strain it just in case. The dough should be cold enough to roll now. Place it on a well-floured surface, give it a few folds, then using your rolling pin, roll it to pie crust thickness. Make sure to use enough flour because it will stick to the counter if not. Once thin enough, try to roll it onto the rolling pin for transport. And fail. Patch it back together, then try again. Success. Kinda. It's breaking, so hopefully yours will be better. Do your best to get it into the pan. Try to lift and tuck it in, not stretch. If you get cracks, try to pinch them back together. Then we're going to cut the excess off. If you have enough, you can try some pretty crimping, but ours is barely hanging on as it is. Once patched and trimmed, it's time for the filling. First, 175 grams of pecans. This is quite a bit, so don't put much more. Then the filling. Pour it right on top, even out the pecans, and move to the oven. Bake at 150 degrees Celsius or 300 Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes. Whatever you poke it with might be sticky but not wet. Once finished, take it out and let it cool for at least 15 minutes. Don't worry, it will still be warm. And here is our version of the classic pecan pie. Let's try to get it out now. Maybe we'll use a knife and spatula. Success! Not hard at all, and look at all them pecans. Wow, I'm excited to try. Flaky crust, sweet but not too sweet filling, and loads of pecans. Perfect! Like, subscribe, and stay tuned to see what will we cook next.